Hello everyone, this is Guy with Glasses. No, not Guy with Glasses, that's the other fucking guy. Guy who talks about stuff. And in this video of Human Revolution, we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of the game. Now, the pros, the good stuff. The pros are scattered throughout the other videos, gameplay, plot, graphics. Pros, the voice acting was really good. Even though none of the voice actors in this game were American, their American accents were very good. Now, these people are all French. If you read the credits, you can find the credits list on the internet. All of the people that voice this game are French. So, really big props to Eidos Montreal to make these people go that extra mile to really make it authentic. Because the game takes place in future Detroit, about 15 years from now. Actually, the game takes place in the year 2027. So, it's really good that they did that. Other pros, the gameplay was great, the plot was great, the graphics were great. If you want more detail into any of those things, the links to all of those parts of the playthroughs are going to be annotated or in the description box, or both. I know how you people don't like to read. As for cons, there was some problems. I talked about some of the cons a little bit in the graphics video. Other cons were hacking. Now, I didn't talk about hacking in the gameplay video because I wanted to save it for this one. When you hack something, a mini game comes up of varying difficulties, 1 through 5. 5 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest. It's a mini game of a tree of folders, cogs, and nodes that you have to connect and send information through and connect the trees to get to the node. And once you capture the node, you've won the mini game. Now, there are augmentations to make this easier, but if you're very masochistic and want to be very hard on yourself, when you capture the very first one, it'll give you a percentage of you being caught by the tracer AI, which is a back trace that the computer tries to run on you and lock you out, and you fail the minigame, and you have to wait 30 seconds to try it again. Now, the way around this is if you're about to fail it, you can just press B and exit the minigame, and you don't have to wait. But whatever you're hacking has a certain amount of attempts that you can do. 1 has 5, 2, 4, 3 has 3. I think 4 has 3 as well, and 5 has 2. Now, if you fail all the attempts, the computer gets locked out, and the entire facility becomes alerted to your presence. And that's something you don't want to have happen. Now, there is software that you can use to make this easier. A nuke software and a stop software. You use stop if the timer is getting really low. If the tracer is tracking you, you can stop the timer for about 3 or 4 seconds to continue. And the more you have, the easier it is if you're doing harder ones. Then there's the nuke software, which what that does is completely eradicates all tracer software from a certain folder that you're hacking. So if a folder you're hacking is like a 65% chance of revealing you to the tracer, you can use the nuke and it becomes 0. I didn't use the nuke at all. I only used the stop, and I sold the nuke software. Hee hee. Other cons were platforming. You'd be trying to walk around scaffolding or a fire escape on a building, and you'd completely overshoot it, and you can't correct yourself, and you'd fall to your death. Luckily, there's an augmentation that you can buy that called the Icarus system, which you don't have to worry about falling to your death anymore. It's impossible for you to fall to your death. You can fall from any height and just gently float to the ground, and you'll be perfectly fine. Now, this is good because you won't lose any health, but you also have to climb back all the way up that building again, which not a lot of people are going to want to do. So, in that aspect, it could be a bit annoying. Another con is some of the boss fights. Some of the boss fights are really complicated, and sometimes complication and difficulty are two totally different things. If a boss fight's really easy but extremely complicated, you're gonna die multiple times and not want to play it anymore. If a boss fight's really hard but very obvious what you have to do, you're not gonna want to play it anymore because you keep on dying. So you can't have one without the other, and they are going to be in varying degrees. Some of the boss fights are very complicated, very simple, but very complicated, and you're going to be running around not knowing what to do, shooting at stuff. And this happened to me in all 4 boss fights. There's 4 boss fights in the game. Not a lot, but they're very good boss fights. I have to say, very good. Fights. And they all are going to have varying stipulations. One of the boss fights, the entire place has been hit with an EMP, and all your instruments are bugging out, and you don't know what's what, and all you have is your gun, and you have to do everything yourself, like you don't have your augmentations anymore, which you won't. Another one is a teleporter that throws claymores at you. Another one is a guy that shoots at you with a rocket launcher. Another one is a guy that throws grenades at you. And a whole bunch of mini bosses. Other cons, some parts of the game where you have to fight giant robots. These parts obviously sound very cool, but most games, when something like this happens, there's a cache of weapons and ammo somewhere nearby that you can take advantage of. In this game, there isn't. Ammo is very scarce. The guns that you're going to find the most ammo for is your stun gun or a 10mm pistol, but those aren't the really fun weapons to use. You want to use the cool stuff, the futuristic stuff. So that in that game, in that sense, is kind of like Resident Evil 4 and below, where ammo is pretty scarce. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any more pros and cons with this game, so I'm going to put annotations below that are going to link you to gameplay, plot, and graphic parts of this review. The next one I'm going to record is the final score and closing comments. Thank you for watching.